Meeting is now called to order. Would you please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
May we have a roll call, please?
Mr. Pavoni?
Here.
Ms. Perez?
Here.
Mr. McIrvin?
Here.
Ms. Witchy?
Here.
Mr. Person?
Here.
Mr. Prince?
Here.
Mr. Corman?
Here.
Roll call, Mr. Mayor, all present.
Thank you, Megan. First item on the agenda is administrative report.
Yes, Mr. Mayor, Council, a couple of items. Probably the most important this week is we are going to experience fall and maybe winter this week. So a reminder to our residents that leaves that are falling from trees can block catch basins, and so we hope people will exercise some diligence a little bit and see if you can clear your catch basins near your home. We try to get out on a daily basis and sweep debris. We may not get to your home on a daily basis, but we'll get there. But if you can, in the meantime, in all this heavy rain, just kind of make sure the catch basins are cleared of leaves and debris. That'll help with localized flooding issues. We'll be hosting our second free eco-film series by exploring textile waste this Thursday, the 19th at 6 p.m. at Carco Theater. Participants can also come there and drop off gently used winter hats, scarves, gloves for the winter swap accessories party. If they've got questions, they can get on our website and look up the eco-film series, and we'll give you more information there. I also wanted to congratulate two of our maintenance service workers, Chad Remian and Chris Murray, who competed recently in the Washington State chapter of the American Public Works Association's 2017 Rodeo. That's ROADEO. They both placed in the top third of the event. This is one where all of the competitors demonstrate their skills in navigating 4 challenging obstacle courses, driving a plow, sander, a backhoe, a front loader, and skid steering. So congratulations to those. That is all, Mr. Mayor.
Okay, thanks, Mr. Covington. Moving on to audience comments, we have one person signed up to address the council. When I call your name, please come to the podium, give your name and city of residence for the record, and you have 5 minutes. Mark Nordlund.
Hello, good evening. My name's Mark Nordlund. I'm in unincorporated King County, so technically I'm not in a city. So a lot of times here,
Yeah, sorry.
no, it's all right. So a lot of times here, people come up here, they got something to complain about or whatever. So I thought, well, I'm going to come here and say something positive. So my son just got back from Nishiwaki, and yeah, he had the time of his life. And I have to laugh because several people have asked, oh, so what private school does he go to and all this? And I go, no, he goes to Renton Public School. I'm also a proud product of Tacoma Public Schools. And this was his second adventure. He also got to go on a boat to Blake Island through the Renton Public Schools, conduct science experiments, and basically report on those findings. So I just want you to know that I think it's great that my son goes to public school. He's had some wonderful opportunities. He will be a graduate of Renton High School. I'm hoping he'll get into the Interbaccalaureate program, which is, my understanding, is the AP program, but it's international. So again, I want to thank you for having Nishiwaki as a sister city, and he didn't even get homesick once, which I just think is wonderful. So
That's great.
yeah, I want to thank you again for that opportunity, and yay for public schools.
Yeah,
Thank you.
Great. Thank you for your comments. A number of us have been to Nishiwaki, and so we share in your son's enthusiasm. It's a wonderful city. The greeting that you receive over there is just unbelievable, and wonderful people, wonderful country. It's been a pleasure for us to have such a great relationship all these years with Nishiwaki. And the fact that we have the student relationship where their students come over here and our students go over there has been really, really great. So thanks for sharing your comments. We appreciate it.
Yeah, you bet. And thank you again.
Okay, moving on to consent agenda. We have 3 items for council consideration. Are there any items that council member like pulled for discussion?
Mr. Mayor.
Yes, Mr. Pavoni.
I move that the council concur with the consent agenda.
Second.
It's been moved by Mr. Pavoni, seconded by Mr. Prince, that council concur with the consent agenda. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it. Moving on to unfinished business, Mr. Pavoni.
No unfinished business, Mr.
Okay,
Mayor.
Ms. Perez.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. The Transportation and Aviation Committee has two committee reports to present.
So we actually just have one committee report because the other one's going to be read next week.
Okay.
Sorry.
Okay.
Okay. So the Transportation Aviation Committee report is regarding professional services agreement, CAG 17149, with KPG Incorporated for the Williams Avenue South and Wells Avenue South conversion project. The Transportation Aviation Committee recommends concurrence in the staff recommendation to authorize the mayor and city clerk to execute professional services agreement CAG 17149 with KPG Incorporated in the amount of $381,919.18 for the Williams Avenue South and Wells Avenue South conversion project. The amount of this agreement is considered to be within the project budget of $600,000, and this is signed by the committee chair and members.
Mr. Mayor,
Yes, Ms. Perez.
I move that council concur with the recommend action of the Transportation and Aviation Committee.
Second.
Okay, it's been moved by Ms. Perez, seconded by Ms. Witchy, that council concur with the Transportation Aviation Committee report. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it. Okay, Mr. McIrvin.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. The Utilities Committee has one committee report.
This committee report is regarding an agreement with Carollo Engineers Incorporated for the Water System Plan Update Project. The Utilities Committee recommends concurrence in the staff recommendation to authorize the mayor and city clerk to execute an agreement with Carollo Engineers Incorporated for the Water System Plan Update Project in the amount of $421,419 as required by state drinking water regulations. This is signed by the committee chair and members.
Mr. Mayor,
Yes, Mr. McIrvin.
I move that the council concur with the Utilities Committee report.
Second.
It's been moved by Mr. McIrvin, seconded by Ms. Perez, that council concur with the Utilities Committee report. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it. Okay, Ms. Witchy.
No unfinished business, Mr. Mayor.
Okay, Mr. Person
No unfinished business, Mr. Mayor.
and Mr. Prince.
Yes, Mr. Mayor, the Planning and Development Committee has a committee report.
This committee report is regarding Renton Housing Authority, NEPA Environmental Review Fee Waiver. The Planning and Development Committee recommends concurrence in the staff recommendation to approve a blanket fee waiver for Renton Housing Authority non-project National Environmental Policy Act, NEPA, certifications required by the federal government. Certification of NEPA documents for RHA properties are limited in scope and city resources. The review is often for projects located in the Sunset Highlands, where the city has partnered with RHA to redevelop and provide affordable housing, updated infrastructure, and foster economic development to the area. The city's NEPA document processing is a component of that partnership as it expedites the process for RHA to provide timely housing resources to the community. The waiver of the environmental review fees associated with the NEPA review would further support affordable housing and RHA's mission to the community. And this is signed by the committee chair and member.
Mr. Mayor,
Yes, Mr. Prince.
I move the council concur with the committee report from the Planning and Development Committee.
Second.
It's been moved by Mr. Prince, seconded by Mr. Corman. The council concur with the Planning and Development Committee report. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. Thank you. And Mr. Corman, any unfinished business?
No unfinished business, Mr. Mayor.
Okay, moving on to legislation, we have a resolution and an ordinance.
Okay, this is a resolution of the City of Renton, Washington, adopting reduced development fees, including transportation and parks impact fees, utility system development charges, also known as utility hookup fees, and land use review and building fees for accessory dwelling units that will sunset on December 31st, 2018, and adopting the amended 2017-2018 City of Renton fee schedule to incorporate reduced development fees for accessory dwelling units.
Mr. Mayor,
Yes, Mr. Prince.
I move the resolution be adopted as read.
Second.
It's been moved by Mr. Prince, seconded by Mr. Corman, that this resolution be adopted as read. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it.
And the ordinance for first reading is an ordinance of the City of Renton, Washington, amending subsections of the Renton Municipal Code to move all businesses to a calendar year reporting period for business license purposes with a January 31st due date, clarifying potentially ambiguous language to ensure consistent application of existing business and operation tax and business license regulations, and providing for severability and establishing an effective date.
Mr. Mayor,
Yes, Mr. Person.
I move the ordinance be placed on second and final reading at the next council meeting.
Second.
It's been moved by Mr. Person, seconded by Mr. Pavoni, that this ordinance be placed on second and final reading at the next council meeting. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. Thanks, Megan. Moving on to new business, Mr. Pavoni.
Yes, Mr. Mayor, on October 23rd, the Committee of the Whole will be meeting in the Conference Center at 5 p.m. And we have 4 items that will be discussed. The first is Trails and Bicycle Master Plan Update, Comprehensive Emergency Management Plan Update and Adoption, the city's website update, and the last will be Economic Development Update. That is all, Mr. Mayor.
Okay, thank you. Ms. Perez.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. No new business.
Okay, thank you. Mr. McGurven.
No new business, Mr. Mayor.
All right, thank you. Ms. Witchy.
No new business, Mr. Mayor.
Okay, and Mr. Person.
Well, Mr. Mayor, I have a couple items. First, the Finance Committee will meet next Monday, October 23rd at 4 p.m. in the council conference room. We have 5 topics: vouchers, nonprofit organizations exemption status in the city's business licensing code, WashDOT 2017-29 transportation demand management implementation. I can't even.
Implementation.
Anyway, we're going to implement the agreement. Emerging issues in the revenue streams.
Okay.
And then, Mr. Mayor, one of the things that read in the newspaper and have had some discussion with the fire chief on is Narcan, which is a drug used to pull people out of overdoses, and the cost of it. Right now, the city's getting it for free through a health department grant, but apparently some cities over the country have almost gone bankrupt at the cost of it, because it's kind of like the EpiPen thing, where they drove the cost up to thousands of dollars per shot. And I don't know exactly what the cost is, but I'd like to get more information. So with that, I move to refer that item to the Public Safety Committee.
Second.
Okay, it's been moved by Mr. Person, seconded by Mr. Corman, that staff investigate the cost of Narcan, or I'm not sure the proper drug, but it's the antidote that's used by first responders to revive heroin overdose victims, and refer that to the Public Safety Committee. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it.
And then my last item is just that at a meeting announcement, there's going to be a Renton Hill Block Watch meeting here in council chambers tomorrow night at 7 p.m. And the neighborhood association has asked WashDOT to come and give the neighborhood a briefing on the 405 project, because it entails the widening of the bridges that go up there, and it'll have a significant impact when they tear one bridge down. I mean, I'm assuming they're going to tear one bridge down at a time and replace so we can get home. But they're going to come and let us know what's happening to that. And so it's not really it's city function. It's put on by WashDOT and the Renton Hill Association. Obviously, everybody's welcome. And with very able assistance from our transportation department too. They're going to be there, and I think it should be an interesting meeting.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Prince.
No new business, Mr. Mayor.
Okay, and Mr. Corman?
I'd just like to announce that the Public Safety Committee meeting that normally would have been held on October 23rd has been canceled. And that's all, Mr. Mayor.
Okay, thank you. What's the wish of the council?
Move we adjourn.
Second.
Okay, it's been moved by Mr. Prince, second by Ms. Witchy, that we adjourn. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? You guys have it.